If you have a good pediatrician, one of the things I want new parents to know is they will always remember what it was like to not know the things they know now and share them with you.
That's true. That's true.
And I think a lot of people are afraid to call their pediatricians, but clearly in that newborn phase, it seems like...
You know, never is it more true that there's no such thing as a stupid question. In the newborn period, I tell people, if you think that there's a problem, I may tell you it's nothing, but you call. You call your pediatrician to make sure you know. As you get a grasp of what's normal and what's not, then you don't need to call as often.
But I think the first thing is feeding the baby. I mean, if you're breastfeeding, you're bottle feeding, and that in and of itself is a whole kind of an area that a lot of people are just clueless in and have to learn very quickly, and if it's not going right, figure out what to do
and that's
right
where you
away.
Want that close relationship because those first few days are so important, whether you're establishing breastfeeding or you're bottle feeding. One of the things where I think, you know, parents all talk about pee and poop, but peeing and pooping actually plays into that whole feeding part, in that if the systems are working right and the baby's getting enough to drink, then you now have pee and poop to show for it. Yeah. But when you do that, then you also have to get into the practical side of diapering. You have to understand whether or not a baby's constipated. And those are the things where you really kind of...
experience before I had my first, I'm sitting there watching him in his car seat, he's asleep, but he looked like he's really struggling. And I went to a class where the pediatrician was like, yeah, most of us don't witness other people going. A lot of us make those faces, and that's okay. It's not a sign of constipation. It's just they're going. And I was like, oh, you know, what a relief, you know.
Right. Constipation throws people because babies can make a whole lot of noise and effort and not be constipated. Right. But it is something to discuss with your pediatrician. The other thing is the colors of poop. They change colors over time.
But you're not changing what you feed them, so it's really bizarre.
And then, you know, even just the simple act of changing the diaper, where you need to know how often do you change it? Do you have to diaper over the umbilical cord? Or do you? And
everybody gets freaked out by the umbilical cord.
You know, for anybody who's had kids a while ago, I mean, the changes in diapers where you've got the cutout for the umbilical cord so it doesn't rub against it before.
I just Did you?
And now you don't have to.
I just folded mine down.
Yeah, I folded it down too.
So those sorts of things are very important to know. And then also keeping tabs on how often they go. Same thing with pee. There are now diapers that have the little strips that show you in the diaper when the diaper's wet, so you know your baby peed, even in those first few days when there's not a lot.
A touch can be so calming, but on newborn sensitive skin, it should be as gentle as possible. Now Pampers Sensitive are the only sensitive diaper and wipe clinically proven mild on some of the most sensitive skin. For a calming touch, now clinically proven mild, Pampers Sensitive.
Pampers Gifts to Grow Rewards program recognizes all that you do for your baby by giving you something back. For more information, go to www.pampers.com.